Hey racers, and welcome back to another live stream. Today's live stream is on weight loss. So the 3 mistakes that I see racers making when they're trying to lose weight. So there's multiple reasons that you'd want to try and lose weight is, number one, you're just overweight and you've got weight that you need to lose, which is obviously going to make things a shit ton easier for you on the bike, and it's going to take a lot less effort to ride because you've got 5, 10, 15, 20 kilos less that you need to move around. And on the other hand, maybe you're an elite level rider or an A grader, and maybe you've just got a couple of kilos there or a few kilos that you'd like to lose. And so it's more just looking for those 1%ers or those little areas to help your racing improve. So the 3 mistakes to get stuck in. First one that I've got written down is riders will try and train more to try and drop weight. So if you're doing 3 gym sessions a week, you're like, okay, I want to start losing weight, or I'm not losing weight now, I need to start training more. And so you add in, usually what happens is riders will add in extra cardio sessions. Like, okay, I need to do more cycling, or I need to do more rowing. So they start doing these big mountain bike rides or big cycles or big rowing workouts, or doing F45, doing more sessions a week of F45 or CrossFit or whatever it is for you. And they try and crank up the training. Now, the thing that happens is when you crank up training is, yes, your body burns more calories, it's burning more energy, which is great. That's what we want. The problem is that when your body is burning more calories and more energy, it also craves more energy. Okay, your appetite starts to increase. And so naturally your body wants to eat more. It doesn't get full as quickly. And you start to get hungrier sooner during the day. You're not as satisfied from your meals anymore. So what happens naturally, if we're not paying any attention to the food side, even if you're eating well, is we increase the amount of calories that we're consuming on one side. So what happens is we might be here, okay, we're at a particular body weight and we want to lose weight. So what we have to make sure is that we're burning more calories than we're consuming. But what happens for a lot of riders and racers is they increase the amount of training they do, so they increase the amount of calories that they're burning, which is great, but they don't keep their calories going in at the same level, okay, and they don't even know they're doing it. So subconsciously, they increase the amount of calories that they're consuming because their appetite goes through the roof because they're doing so much training. So now what happens is they might be fitter and they might be stronger, okay, and all your training might be improving, but your weight's not moving. And the reason your weight doesn't move is because you're not in a calorie deficit, okay? It's exactly the same. Hey, Neil. And so what happens is you might be fitter, faster, and stronger, but we're just moving like this, okay? We're moving both parts of the equation. So to be able to lose weight at the end of the day, you have to be in a calorie deficit, okay? There's no way around that. What that means is your body has to be burning more calories on a day-to-day basis than what we're consuming in through food, okay? So if you're not paying attention to the food side, particularly the calories that you're getting in, okay, it's not just about eating healthy. It's about making sure that you've got that equation working in your favor. So just doing more training isn't the answer to losing weight quickly, okay, or losing weight at all. It's the calorie deficit, which is the key. So that's one of the problems I find is people just try and train a lot more. And you get stuck in this cycle of trying to train more to the point where it's almost taken over your life. And you're like, shit, well, maybe I'm just not going to be lean. Okay, maybe I just don't have the time. Then you tell yourself, I don't have the time to dedicate to be able to get that lean. But the truth is, it's not about training all the time. You can lose weight doing no training, no exercise. It's all about being in a deficit. So that's the first thing. The second mistake that I see is riders will try and eat less. Okay, so if you're having this much dinner, then they try and reduce their portions down and eat this much dinner. Now, this does work. Okay, it is effective. But the reason it's effective is not because you're eating less food. It's because you're eating less calories. Okay, and there's a difference between those two. So all types of foods have calories, which is what your body uses to burn as energy and as fuel. But the thing is, not all foods are created equally. Okay, some foods are very high in calories and some foods are very low in calories. Now, whether you're eating or healthy or not, in terms of losing weight, doesn't really matter. Okay, if you're eating McDonald's every day or if you're eating salads every day, okay, or a piece of meat. When we're losing weight, that doesn't matter. Okay, the first thing that has to be satisfied is you have to be in a calorie deficit. Okay, consuming less calories than what you're burning. So if I cut down all of my food portions from this size to this size, it's not eating less food that's actually causing me to lose weight. It's the reduction in calories from eating less food that's causing me to lose weight. So the way to get around that and to make your weight loss actually sustainable is you need to educate yourself and you need to know which foods are high in calories and which foods are lower in calories and how much to have of each of those types of foods. So if you've got a large part of your dinner plate full of high calorie foods and only a small part full of low calories, then when you're trying to lose weight and we're trying to drop calories, you have to eat less. Okay, there's no way of getting around that. However, if we flip that equation around and we start to eat a lot more low calorie foods and only a small amount of high calorie foods, then you can still eat your big plate of food, okay? But you're just getting less energy coming in. So to give you an example of that, like if we look at, say, and this is just a fast food example, let's say Hungry Jack's. So I don't mind Hungry Jack's every now and then. I'll get a Whopper meal with chips and a chocolate thick shake. So calorie-wise, that's, if I remember correctly, it's about 1,600 calories for that whole meal, okay? A Whopper, a chips, and a chocolate thick shake. So let's say it's about 1,600, I can't remember the exact number, it's about 1,600, 1,800. So let's say it's 1,600 calories, right? But let's say your body needs to consume only 2,000 calories in a day. That means you're pretty much only having one meal for the whole day, okay? One meal and maybe a couple of snacks, and that's it. So to stick to that would be absolutely nuts because you're going to be starving, right? Imagine just having one meal a day and that's it, or one and a bit meals a day. You're just going to be starving all the time. And so what happens is when you're starving, it requires a lot of willpower to try and keep yourself on track and keep yourself on target. And so in the short term, you might be able to do that, but eventually you're going to wear out. Eventually your willpower is going to disappear. Okay, eventually you're going to have a tough day at work. Eventually you're going to give in to whatever it is. You're going to go out on the weekend. And because you've been restricting yourself and holding yourself so back and you're starving all the time, then what happens is when you see these shit foods or you have those moments of weakness, so to speak, then you just go for it, right? And you absolutely annihilate and write yourself off and undo all the hard work that you've done because it's too hard to stick to, okay? Even I do this for a living and this is what I love doing for the last 11 years. And I still can't do that, okay? I need to be satisfied and have plenty of food going in. So it's not about restricting food. Another good example of this is like if you, maybe some of you guys have had it, or maybe you know someone that's had it, or you've read about it, is you can get like a gastric band, okay, or you can have the gastric, I think it's the sleeve. There's different types of surgeries that you can get. The way that those work is not through the surgery itself, okay? It's because you're eating less food. Now, what usually happens with those types of surgeries is in the start you eat less food because you've had the surgery and your stomach's tightened up. But then what happens after a period of time is your stomach starts to stretch a little bit, or the band starts to stretch a little bit, or whatever it is, and you start to eat more food. And people start to gain weight again. And so what happens is the reason that they gain weight is because they can't eat proper foods anymore because it's hard to digest. So the foods that go down the easiest are the desserts. They're easily digestible and give an instant boost of energy, but they're also very high in calories. So it's not about, so then that's when they start to gain weight again, even though they've had the surgery. So the whole target here is it's not about eating less, okay? Because eating less is not really a long-term strategy. Short term, you can do it for a little bit. Long term, to be able to hang in there for 10 years eating half the plate full of food that you'd normally eat is quite hard to stick to. So it's about the calories, okay? And that just comes to knowing what foods are healthy and what foods aren't healthy. So even with not healthy and not healthy, it comes down to what foods are high in calories and what foods are low in calories. And just because you're eating healthy foods, that doesn't mean you're in a deficit. Okay, at the end of the day, it comes down to the calories. So even if all you do is eat lettuce leaves all day and nothing else, you still need to be in a calorie deficit to be able to lose weight. So it just comes down to knowing the right food so that you don't have to starve yourself to get there. Third one is stuck with tactics, okay, or fads to help them to lose weight. So for those of you that have tried to lose weight before or have lost weight before, you've probably got a method, okay, or a system that you know that works. You might not be doing it, but you've got a system that you know that has worked for you before. Maybe you've done keto before and that worked and you lost a lot of weight. Maybe you did a vegetarian diet and that worked for you. Maybe you did paleo, okay, and that worked for you and you lost weight. The problem is with that, we tend to associate our weight loss with that specific system. And so it doesn't give us any flexibility. So what we need to understand to lose weight over the long term is you need to understand why is that system working. Okay, so a lot of the time what happens is you'll go on a new diet and it's not actually the diet or the fad that you're following that is the thing that's causing you to lose weight. What's causing you to lose weight is you're in a calorie deficit. Okay, so if I eat like, you know, I'm eating Macca's a couple of times a week or eating whatever foods I am, and I happen to be in a calorie surplus, and then I start doing keto, okay? And keto, I've got to cut out all the shit foods and I've got to tidy things up and I cut back the beers and I start losing weight. It's not because you're doing keto, okay? Keto is not the thing that's giving you the results of the weight loss. The thing that's giving you the weight loss is that when you've done keto, it's put you in a calorie deficit, okay? And that's why you've lost the weight. Same as if you're doing a vegetarian diet. You might eat a lot of plants now, okay, or a lot of veggies, and you cut out all meats and processed stuff and all that. It's not because you're eating veggies, lots of veggies, that they're somehow doing something special with your body to burn weight when other foods don't. What's happening is you're in a calorie deficit. You're consuming foods that are lower in calories, and so you're burning off more calories than what you're consuming, which causes your body to lose weight. Same with paleo. If you're doing paleo and that's worked for you in the past, that's great. Same sort of thing, okay? It's putting you in a calorie deficit. At the end of the day, the reason any type of weight loss works or weight loss system works is because it's putting you in a calorie deficit, okay? That's what the thing that's making it work. And sometimes I find that hard for riders because I get a lot of riders that have done particular ways of eating and they know that works, but they can't stick to it for 10 years. So if you're eating a diet that is very high protein, eating meat 5 times a day with a couple of Brussels sprouts next to it, and no carbs and no fats and nothing else, that may help you to lose weight. That's great, right? It's going to put you in a calorie deficit. The problem is it sustainable? Are you going to be able to hold on to that and do that for the next 10 years? Okay, eating meat and Brussels sprouts 5 times a day for the rest of your life? Probably not. So the plan's flawed from the start. So don't get sucked into following particular ways of eating. Understand the mechanics behind why you're actually losing weight. Hey, Robert, why are you actually losing weight from following that system? And the reason is because you're in a calorie deficit. So it's not the special foods that you're eating, okay? It's not that there's a special type of veggie that's going to allow you to lose 10 kilos that no other veggie does, or a special type of meat, okay, or special types of meals. At the end of the day, the first thing that has to happen for you to lose weight, you have to be burning off more calories each day than what you are consuming. And that's it. So to summarize, training more, people tend to eat more as well. So you have to pay attention to the calories going in as well as the calories going out. Second one is people will eat less. Okay, it's got nothing to do with eating less. It's got everything to do with consuming less calories. And they're not the same thing. And then number 3, like we just spoke about, is you're stuck with tactics or fads. You've got a way of losing weight that works, but the problem is it's not sustainable. And it's not sustainable because you don't know how that way of eating is working. You're just getting sucked into the hype of whatever's new, whatever's coming out next. So in saying that, I am taking on 5 riders that would like to lose 10 kilos of body weight in the coming months. So this is for riders that want to be able to fit into your gear, okay, without buying the extra big size. Riders that want to be able to spend more time riding the bike and less time at the trail, less time on the side of the trails. And third, just be able to enjoy your riding more, okay? Not be sucking in the big ones every time you go for a ride. Actually being able to enjoy being on the bike. So if that's something you're interested in, or you'd like some more information on, I'll put the details for you in the comments below now. So you can have a read through there. If that sounds like you, you can fill out an application form there, and I'll give you a quick call and see if it's the right program for you or not. But otherwise, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video and look forward to putting together the next one. I will chat to you guys soon. See ya.